Welcome to You Say We Say News, where we provide you with updates on the results from the You Say We Say presidential election poll. I'm Dr. Zim Mokora, a political scientist on the You Say We Say team. You Say We Say has been designed by faculty and students at Deakin University, Australia. The project aims to give people in every country around the world a chance to have their say in the upcoming American presidential election. Our survey asks, who do you expect to win? Who do you want to win? And why do you hold the views that you do? If you haven't submitted your response, please do participate. It's a chance to have your say, and we, the research team, would be grateful for your contribution to our understanding of how the world thinks and feels about the American presidential election. You Say We Say has now been in the field for about 3 weeks. We've received about 1,000 submissions from a sample that now extends to 37 countries. Here are some headlines. Kamala Harris is still leading in our poll. During the You Say We Say update of last week, we reported that 63% of respondents expected that Harris would win. That is now down by a small margin to 62%. Meanwhile, the number of people in our sample who think Donald Trump will win has slightly increased by just 1%, from 37% to 38%. We continue to see different expectations in the responses from different countries. While Harris is expected to win by respondents in most countries, there are a number of exceptions. Nearly 70% of respondents from India expect Trump to win, and majorities also expect Trump to win in Indonesia and Nigeria. In a few countries, Canada, Iran, the Netherlands, and New Zealand, respondents are evenly split, 50-50, between those who expect Harris to win and those who expect Trump to win. Most of our respondents are based in Australia, and in this country we are able to identify which states the residents live in. So, how do residents of the different states feel about the race? Harris is expected to win by respondents in all states, but while 72% of South Australians believe that Harris will win, in New South Wales a lower figure, 56% of respondents expect this outcome. The expectations from the other states fall between those figures. If those numbers tell us about the people's expectations, what about their preferences? Who would they like to win? Again, Harris leads by a significant margin on this question. Overall, approximately 66% of respondents would prefer her to win ahead of Donald Trump. This is slightly lower than the figure we reported last week of 68%. Trump is preferred by about 26% of You Say We Say respondents, up by 1% since last week. For this question about candidate preferences, we also considered several independent and minor party candidates. The best performing among them remains the Green Party ticket led by Jill Stein, who is the preferred president for 4% of respondents, same as last week. The You Say We Say data will help us to understand several aspects of the presidential election from a global vantage point. In previous weeks, we took a deep dive into the gender breakdown of responses and also respondents' consideration of character versus policy in their assessment of the candidates. Today, let's unpack our results by age. The You Say We Say survey asked respondents to indicate their age in one of 7 categories. Under 18, since we don't impose an age restriction on participation, age 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, and 65 and over. Breaking down the responses we've received into these age categories, we can analyze whether there are differences in the responses of people of different ages. For example, one question is whether young people and older respondents have different expectations about the outcome of the race. The data show an interesting pattern here. Respondents in the youngest category, under 18, strongly expect Harris to win. 78% of them predict that she will win the race. However, there is another age group that has an even stronger expectation of a Harris victory, and that's the oldest category of survey respondents. 79% of over 65s expect that Harris will win. In short, it is the youngest and the oldest who have the strongest pro-Harris expectations, and these groups also have the strongest pro-Harris preferences. The people who have lower expectations of Harris and higher expectations of Trump tend to be in the intermediate age groups between the youngest and the oldest. The strongest pro-Trump expectation is found among 35 to 44-year-olds. 45% of this group expect Trump to win, and 55% expect Harris to win. Pushing further in this direction, we might ask, how does age interact with gender? We could now be more fine-grained and say that the strongest pro-Trump expectations are found among men aged 45 to 54. 50% of this group expects Trump to win the presidency. The strongest pro-Harris expectation is to be found among men aged 65 plus, 85% of whom believe that Harris will win. That's it for the You Say, We Say news for today. Please check out our website for more analysis and tune in for future news updates. And if you haven't already done so, please join the debate by expressing your view through the You Say, We Say survey. See you next time.